Welcome, my dear students. Unit number 5, grinding machine part 2. So, in last lecture we discussed about the what is the structure, what is the elements of the grinding wheel, what are, how the grinding wheel get constructed, what are the different element of the grinding wheel. Uh, Now, again in that lecture we also discussed about the what is the grain, what is the grit, which main component is responsible for the removal of the material. Okay, now in second lecture we discuss about the marking system of the grinding wheel. Second one is the what is the structure of the grinding wheel. So we'll start from the structure of the grinding wheel. So structure of the grinding wheel is nothing but the relative grain spacing in a wheel, which is nothing but the structure. Okay, so dense spacing is denoted by a low number and open spacing is denoted by a high number. What is the dense spacing? So dense spacing means, so dense spacing, so dense means they are very closely to each other. Okay, those structures is dense spaced, we call it, we denote it by a low number, and open spaced by a high number. So if we take the example here, so so these are the very dense. Okay, so if the number of the cutting element are very close to each other, then we called it as a de dense spaced. Okay, so dense spaced, DENSE, dense spaced. And okay, if they are the space between the two element or two particle of the grinding machine is large, then we denote it by a high numbers. Okay, wheel structure are depending upon the material. So it's a very important which type of the material that you want to ground. That means you want to remove the material from the workpiece. Rate of the stock removal. So what will be the rate of stock removal? That means what will be your the material removal rate from the workpiece. Again, accuracy, surface finish required. So these are the different uh, criteria for selection of the wheel structure. The relative spacing is referred to as structured and denoted by number of cutting edges. So number of cutting edges per unit area of the wheel face. Okay, so these are this, let's supposed to be one wheel space. So these are the number of cutting edges per unit area. So this is nothing but your structure of the grinding wheel. Okay, as well as the number and size of the white space between the grains. So in between the white space between the grains, as well as number, size and number of the white spaces between the grains. So this is nothing but the structure. Okay, dense, medium and open. So now if you see in the dense, so grain percentage is more, 60 to 52 is the grain percentage. That means the number of the elements which are responsible for the grinding wheel, or the number of edges are responsible for the removal of the material from the workpiece are more in the dense one. So we always know that the dense population means what? So in the limited area more people are living. Okay, so if you see in the city region and in the rural area, so rural area is the less dense as compared to the city. So in the city, so if you see the in a flat system, so in a flat we can consider as a dense. Okay, so within the area, within the limited area more people are living, and if you see in the row houses, so more area is there, but less people are living. So this is nothing but the dense and less dense. So same case happen with the grinding wheel. So in the grinding wheel, so if the grain percentage are more, then we call it as a dense. Okay, then medium and open. So in the open, so grain percentage is somewhat less as compared to the dense one. The structure of the grinding wheel depends on the material, depends on the hardness of the material to be ground finish, required nature of the grinding operation, as well as the accuracy. So accuracy is also plays a very important role in case of selection of the grinding wheel or selection of the material that you want to ground. Okay, soft, tough and ductile materials and heavy cuts required open structure. So open structure is responsible for the removal of the more stock. Okay, so whenever there is a more stock removal or the high removal of the material, high rate of material removal, then in that case you require the open structure. Whereas hard and brittle material, but if you want to finish, then the you require the dense structure. So whenever number of cutting edges per unit area is more, then you will get the more surface finished, you will get the good surface finish as compared to the open structure. Okay, so when you want to yeah, when you want to do the soft material, if supposed to be material is the soft tough ductile materials, and you require the heavy cuts. Heavy cut means what? You require the more depth of cut in a one stroke. So material removal rate is more, in that case you can use the open structure. Whereas when you want to use the grinding wheel for the hard as well as brittle material, and let's suppose to be you require the good finish and accuracy. So if anybody want to good finish and accuracy, then the structure required is the dense structure. Okay, so now you clear that what is the structure and what is the grain percentage. Okay, so now IS 551-1954, that is the Indian Standard Institution for the marking of the marking system, standard marking system of the grinding wheel, has specified a standard marking system of marking the grinding wheels. So these code, that IS 551-194, is responsible for the marking of the grinding wheel. Okay, and that is nothing but the Indian Standard Institution for the grinding wheel. According to this system, the following elements are represented in a definite order. So abrasive, so this abrasive plays a very important role, which means that the abrasive is nothing but the main element which are responsible for the removal of the material. Say second one is the grit or grain size, then grade, then structure, then bond. Okay, so let's take the example of the wheel specification. So here is the one example, that is 51 space A space 36 space L 5 V4. So what is the meaning of this example? We'll take one by one. So 51 is the one manufacturer symbol indicating type of abrasive. Okay, so first this is the manufacturer symbols indicating type of abrasives. A, capital A is the abrasive. Which type of abrasive we are using? A stands for the aluminum oxide. Okay, 36 is the grain size, and this 36 comes under the category of medium. L is the grade, which comes under the category of medium again. 5 is the dense structure. So if we see from 0 to 14, so 0 to 4 5 to 6, so we call it as a dense structure. V is the type of the bond, and 40 is the manufacturer symbol. That is nothing but that is the optional. In some cases it will be there, in some cases it. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next lecture.